So this problem should be pretty fun. We're going to write the equation of a hyperbola. The trick is there's two equations, right? So is this a side to side or an up and down? Well, we know because of the vertices, all right? So since, if you think about, if you were graphing on a piece of graph paper, the vertices are at 6, 0, and -6, 0, right? So that means it's got to be going this way, all right, because we're centered at the origin. Okay, so we know it's the equation x squared over a squared minus y squared over b squared equals 0. So what we need to know is a squared and b squared. Now we know a is 6, okay? So that we can put in, but we have to figure out what b is. We'll need the equation c squared equals a squared plus b squared, because we know what c is. C is 2 times the square root of 10. And it doesn't matter that one's plus or minus really because we're going to square them. So, okay, let's put stuff in then. So we have x squared. We know a was 6, so it's going to be over 6 squared. We'll figure that out in a minute. Minus y squared over, okay, now I'm looking for b or b squared. So I have to use this equation right here. My c is 2 times the square root of 10, and I'm going to square that. Now, we haven't done a lot of that, so I want to make sure I go over the details on that. Do we know what a squared is? Well, we know a is 6, and we have to square it, and that's going to equal b squared. Okay, now on the left, when I'm squaring this, I have to square the 2, and I have to square the square root of 10. So it's going to be 4 times 10. Okay, so think about that for a minute, which is 40. Now, 6 squared is 36. Okay, I guess I just kind of keep writing this down. Now I can subtract the 36 from both sides, and I'm going to get 4 equals b squared. Now, if you wanted to know what b was because you were going to graph the co-vertices or something, you could take the square root of both sides. But we don't really have to know that. We need to know what b squared is anyway, because look at it. So that's just going to be a 4. But if you feel more comfortable saying, hey, I want to know what b is, you could do that. Plus or minus 2 is equal to b. But then you'd have to square it and get the 4. Okay, so, oh, dang, I have a major error. This is probably bugging you. That was supposed to be a 1. I don't know why it was a 0. It was supposed to be a 1. But deep down, I know you knew that. Okay, so this is equaling 1. And we just have to square that 6 now. I don't know how that 0 snuck in there. Okay. There we go. That's the equation then of that hyperbola.